Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our little discussion on ReLIFE, the 2000. Fuck me.
No, that's just perfect.
That lasted good.
Actual kill me. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our discussion on the 2016 series ReLIFE. Nailed it!
Woo!
Along with Dan sniffing right in the middle of it.
Yeah, I tried so hard.
Oh.
I was almost going to break out laughing again because I just remember when you said fuck me.
Okay, so this is basically two full reactions and one first reaction because someone can't watch things on time.
I've watched 5 episodes.
We had a deadline, man, a deadline.
You watched 5 of 13.
Hey, like
They're
27
only bloody
seconds.
20 minutes long. It's not like...
22 minutes?
Alright,
Oh, I'm
22
sorry.
minutes, but...
I am so sorry, Daniel.
I'm a uni student, leave me alone.
Both of us are working people.
Yeah.
Fucking students. I did an intro and then I don't know where to go from here.
Well, we just say, initial reactions. Like, what did you guys think of it overall? Well, what did me and Jamie think of it overall? Dan, you
Yeah.
can only say...
Yeah, you
so
can
much.
say up till episode 5,
Yeah,
and then you can just
that's it.
react to all the spoilers we're gonna spout at you.
So I'm also reacting as we go along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a real-time reaction.
We're spoiling it for
While
you
while
now.
Dan stares at his 27 second sound marker on the 6th episode.
Actually, I had to close that because it was messing with my mic.
So you can't even do that.
This is bullying.
Pretty much, yes. So this show really fucking depressed me.
I know it did for me as well, actually. Like,
It's
the
like-
whole way through.
It's funny as hell, but it has the same kind of reaction as Welcome to the NHK, where you're laughing and then you realise that it's really depressing you.
Yeah, there's always sort of that undermining feeling that, at some point this is all going to come to an end.
It's like,
Like,
oh,
it's
that's
only
really
lasted for
funny.
so long.
And then you just look down and go, well, what am I doing with my life? Shit.
I mean-
It's like, it's a really simple premise, and it lends itself to being really generic and cheesy.
Yeah.
And it looks like it is, and then you watch it and it's really deep.
I mean, yeah, there are some bits where it goes a bit, like, not too dark, but there are some bits where you're just like, wow, this is really sort of sad in a way, because you are reflecting on all these sort of high school students' lives, and it's sort of like, kind of like a flashback to when we were back at secondary school, almost.
Yeah, like, especially how they described subject number 1 as being basically distant. That was essentially me in high school.
Yeah, same here, to be honest.
Yeah, no friends for the win.
Oh yeah, we went to different high schools.
Yes, we did.
That's really weird.
We all did, yeah.
Oh,
It's always sort of that awkward. I mean, there's always going to be like every person's going to have like a different attitude towards it. Like there's someone who's going to be really sort of overworking themselves, trying to be better than everyone else, sort of thing. And then
you just have those people that just do it naturally, which was one of the main conflict of the show was that character, Karoe. We apologize for all pronunciation throughout
Rena.
this.
Just say Rena.
Oh yeah, but they never
Kairi.
call her
Yeah,
that.
it's Kairi. Yeah.
But it's like, she's obsessed with being the best, but because of two characters' just kind of natural ability, she just can't. And then she has to, like, learn how to settle, but then it's a really realistic way, because a talk won't stop that. Even though she tries it initially, and then just kind of lapses into being depressed about it again.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this is really irritating and annoying, but it's also really realistic.
I mean, that's
It-
the thing. It's like when you try and compare yourself to someone else, it does get really depressing because you think you're never going to be as good as them. Where at the end of the day, you can only sort of push yourself to be better, and you should only ever compare yourself to your other past self.
Yeah, you should only ever compare yourself to yourself, but you can never really help from comparing to other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because they're just different, so you can do things they can't, they can do things you can't, and this show does a really good way of just explaining that, but also that character is just kind of annoying.
Yeah, but I loved her. Like, I think she's really, really, like, really relatable.
I liked
She was
her
obviously very protective of herself. Yeah, she didn't really. Yeah.
Didn't want to open up to anyone.
No.
And the one person she did want to open up to is the most oblivious person ever. He's also probably the most adorable character in this show.
Oh no, yeah.
Especially in the last 2 episodes.
It's surprising, you know, he's like a very hard worker, but not very aware of his surroundings. You know.
Smart, but is completely inept in social
just
situations.
Oblivious, yeah.
But that's like the 2 smartest characters in the show are inept completely in social situations. It's just one's nice and one's a robot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call her a robot.
Well, that's the thing. Just... It's like Kazuki and Hishiro. They're pretty much like polar opposites, really.
Yeah, but like Hishiro is probably my favourite character of the show because a lot of the comedy comes from her just being savage as fuck.
And those awkward smiles as well. Oh god.
They are amazing.
Yeah.
Especially in the last episode where she gets like genuine hugs for helping everyone and she's happy about it but does the creepy smile anyway.
It's all just become her thing.
It's just like she is just amazing, and I want to say the kind of twist at the end, but I don't want to ruin it for Dan.
I gotta know now though.
About
the reaction. I gotta react.
Well, it's a really good twist though. You know how I didn't know that Onoya was one of the support characters?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've sort of got that feeling when she was like in the first episode, she's like, whatever, you know, she's like, I'm a transfer student as well. I sort of instantly got that vibe, like, right, you can't tell if some of these people in here are or are not part of this ReLIFE situation, you know, but some of them too had that vibe. After
Onoya like outed herself as one, I started getting skeptical. It's like, wait, is any of this real?
Yeah.
Is all of this fake? Are you just trying to mess with him?
Is it just all like a scientific experiment that it's just, you know, nothing of it's actually real? It's just all fake, pretty much, yeah.
There was one issue I had with one of the episodes that basically was pointless. It was...
So which one was that?
You know the one that was basically centered around Yoaki, his support?
Oh, yeah.
And it kept doing the flashbacks to them going up. And there was one where he had to essentially go back to being an adult so he could quit his job. Yoaki wanted to do it with him so he could watch over him but also he wouldn't be recognised, and then you look at it and he looks exactly the same, just a bit taller and wearing a suit.
I found weird. They just like when they say that they're older, but they don't, like they kind of just look similar, like maybe like, just like a bit taller, but I found that really confusing.
Kaizaki looked a bit more tired, a bit more like unruly when he was an adult.
Yeah.
But Yoaki looks exactly the same, and at times I got him confused with I can't remember the name of the really oblivious character, but him.
Oh, Uga.
Oh yes, fuck me. Right here. I'm so bad with character names.
I don't know why, but we're just watching it. I thought like you'd never seen Yoka his actual adult when he was an adult. I just thought like something weird would happen, like he would take a pill and it turned out just to be like a really old man or something.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I thought that might just happen because he looked kind of experienced in all of it, and maybe just like, maybe he is a lot older than what we actually think he is, you know.
He seemed really together.
Yeah.
They're all like the same age, essentially.
I don't think I've really ever noticed it, but like whenever he sort of was asked about his age, he just did seem really sort of trying to avoid the question. I don't know. Just like when I was watching it at the time, it just felt like he was trying to avoid the question. Like, maybe this is maybe there's something going on behind here. You know, maybe he's not telling them for a certain reason.
Yeah, like I want to know what the job they're gonna get at the end is.
Yeah.
Because this show needs a second season, or that ending is kind of like, I liked it, but it's not a good enough ending to end.
It just sort of ends on it's like a cliffhanger almost.
It's like, what's gonna happen? Okay, Oga and fuck me, I don't remember character. Yeah, their arc, it's done, they're set.
Yeah.
But Kaizaki and Hoshiro, they still have so much left.
Yeah.
And it left it on such a cute note.
Yeah, that's kind of so sad about that. Like, and they're never gonna know that sort. You know, it's a little bit saddening. Hopefully, But then I don't know if they could obviously do like a second season, but then again, I don't know how well it would
Yeah.
turn out, you know.
Yeah, I don't see how they could make, because they only basically went through one term of school
Yeah.
in that entire season,
Yeah.
which admittedly is much quicker than Haikyuu does, because it's in its third season almost, and it's still in the first year. Which I love Haikyuu, but still, that's taking the piss. But this is like, okay, you have basically the rest of the school year left. You don't really have anywhere to go other than the character conclusions for these two characters. Maybe three if you include Yoaki.
So also, when does this experiment end? You know, is it
So
is it just for a year or one term or?
I think they said it was for the whole year.
Right.
But okay, you've now shown us a term. This has to have a second season now, or it's just pointless.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's like sort of ended on a high note, but sort of not, because there's always that sort of recurring feeling that, oh, everyone's going to forget everything. They're not going to remember you. This is just going to sort of be like a blank point in their lives, and that you're not going to be remembered, which is slightly depressing, actually, because it's like all the fun that he's had in the school and all the people he's made, it's just going to go out the window pretty much. Well, Kaisaki's only going to remember it, but everyone else, it's just whoosh, gone. You know, that's it. And then it's the same with obviously Hishiro. Like, as soon as like the experiments ended for her.
Oh, spoiler.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already said, didn't we? But yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's hard not to go into it,
What
but
do
yeah,
you
it's
mean?
obviously like the same for them. Once that's over, they're not going to remember it at all. But neither of them are going to remember it. So it's just so it's like it's so saddening. But then again, yeah, I do hope that they do bring on a second season. So
Yeah,
they
like-
can focus on that bit, you know.
It's a judgment kind of pending thing. If there is a second season, then this is a great ending.
Yeah.
If there isn't, it's dog shit.
Because they clearly want to, you see, they clearly want to act on their feelings, but then again, they don't, purely because of what they're going through. You
Yeah,
know?
they don't want to do it just to be forgotten.
Yeah. That's just how they go, what?
Dan's reacting
No,
in
I
real
just-
time.
I just found out what you mean by Hishiro.
If you've just
Like-
been reading up
Wait.
on it.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
You didn't know their names.
No, like as in like what you meant by her like being. I think how, like
Oh, right.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
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 That was
I'm
a shocker.
really surprised
That was
by
a
that.
shocker to me, actually.
That
yeah.
was like a really good twist for me.
That's a mega twist.
Mm.
Jesus Christ.
And now that I've seen this, like, you know, they're being like, oh, you're giving too much support, oh, you're not giving enough support, sort of thing. Now I can definitely see, like, that comparison between Hishiro, you know, that why she struggled so much during
Yeah.
her ReLIFE, you know.
It kind of solved a problem I had going into, like, I thought either this show's gonna get depressing as fuck, which it kind of did,
Yeah.
but not really in the show, but how it made you think, get really fucking pervy.
Yeah.
Like, it could have gone full on school days in there. It didn't,
Almost
thankfully. Oh, fuck school days. They basically solved my issues with that, because he's almost 30 and they're high school age.
Yeah.
They solved that through Hoshiro, technically.
It just felt a bit weird, obviously, with when Yoka and Onoya were round what's his bloody name?
Kazaki.
Kazuki's house, and then obviously Yoka left. No, sorry, it wasn't Yoka. It was Oga, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then he left, and then there was sort of that moment where she was sort of trying to come on to him, and then it was just sort of this like, oh no, she's a lot younger than she is, this is getting a bit weird, and then she's like, oh no, joke's on you, I'm part of the thing, and it's just like, oh okay. Right, so it doesn't seem too bad now.
Ah.
She's just finding more about this as well, Dad.
I'm finding out so much information. I'm having like too much.
I mean, what do you
Too
think, Dan?
much.
You haven't, what do you think? I mean, from what you've seen so
At
far,
your
anyways.
very, very young opinion of the show.
Well,
It's
from
kind of
what I've
like
heard so far,
me and Jamie are Kazuki and Yoka, and you're just like one of the students, just not knowing anything.
I'm just all the twists that are coming up are really unexpected. Especially Hishiro.
So where the show starts to get really, really interesting is the bits you haven't got to yet, and you're just at the light comedy.
It's
Yeah.
really good so far though. Like it's getting at the moment, it's getting pretty good.
I felt it dragged a tiny bit with the whole volleyball problem.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bit ridiculous.
It's like, okay, you're injured, I understand why you're annoyed, but why the fuck are you giving up?
I mean, like Kairu's attitude towards a little bit just seemed a bit like, yeah, it was ongoing as well. Like, I know her sort of personality is meant to be very sort of protective of herself, and she's trying to do better than everyone. But then it just felt a bit like ongoing. It's like, right, love, you need to sort of shut the hell up and just listen.
Just get on with it.
Yeah. So it's like that well-needed flick that she got from Hishiro was like sort of definitely needed. Like, it's like, come back to reality, you know, get your head straight.
Shit, I love Hishiro in this series. She is the best character.
Yeah.
She kind of became the main character because Kaizaki didn't really have much to do for a while.
It felt
He was
like
just kind of there.
When you realise, like, what the twist, obviously, about it, like, Kazuki just seems more like a supporting character. Like, it seems to be a bit more like Hishiro's story.
Because technically, it's not really about how he changes them, but how the effects he has affects him, if that makes sense.
But he's also affecting her as well, obviously.
Yeah, it's mainly how they bounce off each other rather than how it's them themselves affecting it.
Yeah.
Because I guess that's why Subject 1 failed initially, because she didn't really affect anything or anyone.
Well, it was obviously that whole bully situation, and then when she tried to do something about it, it all sort of backfired. And then obviously that's when Yoka's superiors were just like, right, you need to back off now. You've clearly given too much support on this, and then sort of like, oh, now I can't help you, and then that's when it just sort of go downhill, and then obviously deemed the experiment a failure.
I need to see how ReLIFE ends, like, so badly.
I did sort of read a little bit more into it, and it does get sort of interesting. I'm not going to say any more. I think we sort of spoiled it enough. Well,
yeah, we spoiled it for Dan, and I will put a spoiler warning in this.
I wouldn't say spoiler at all.
Well, it is a spoiler because you didn't know about it, and it's a twist.
We're just blowing your mind here. You're just sat there just like, oh, what? Oh my god.
You're so mind blown, you don't realise that it's a spoiler.
I really can't believe it, to be honest with you. Like, so surprising.
I don't know how far in the manga goes, because I haven't read the manga.
Yeah, like, I don't really read a lot of the manga or the anime I watch. I mean, I did with Naruto, One Piece, Planetes, I guess, which Planetes is great, but it's just too expensive.
Yeah, I don't really like reading them online.
They take like half an hour to read, and they're usually about 4 or 5 episodes worth of shit.
Well, the series came out on the 24th of June 2016, so if there is going to be any sort of, season 2, hopefully it should be sometime. Yeah, sometime generally next summer. Yeah, hopefully so.
Unless it does an Attack on Titan and takes about 4 years.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that, man.
ReLIFE had something fairly interesting about it in that it had 12 different ending songs.
Yeah, I guess the ending scene was sort of similar, but then I kind of like that because every time it was a different song, and it started from the same similar place. Obviously, it's CD player or MD player, whatever it is. Yeah.
But it was like, okay, usually I look forward to ending themes, but I have no idea what I'm getting this time, and it just confused me. And I looked on like the internet and was like, wait, there's 12 different ones? Some of them sounded exactly the same.
It's sort of like things like little details you don't notice, actually.
I always like that stuff.
I quite like the intro as well. I mean, like the intro.
I liked it, but I don't think it was anything overly special.
No, I mean,
it's not on Attack on Titan or Psycho Pass's opening's amazing.
I guess it's like it did have that sort of feeling again, like
it got you hyped for the show.
Yeah, but then it did have that sort of dark, sort of sad tone to it as well. Like, this is only for a certain period, like this is only gonna last so long, and you're gonna forget it all. Like, you're gonna have all these memories, and then that's it. Especially with that bit where he's sort of sitting on his bed in the dark. It just seems a little bit depressing.
Yeah, I never overly like. That's the one thing I rarely do is just sit and watch the opening credit. I'll do it with like Attack on Titan. I did it with Hunter x Hunter for 99 episodes. Because the opening themes of those two shows are brilliant.
Yeah, Netflix just refused. Like, every time I was watching an episode on Netflix, it would just skip the intro. I was like, oh, no, can't be doing that. You're going to go back to the beginning and play it again.
Yeah, Crunchyroll kept doing that for me, so I just going, okay, I just won't watch the intro anymore.
Are you mad?
Because I felt like going quite deep into I say deep into facts. I just read what other kind of shows this production company has made. They made stuff like Bakugan, Sonic
Oh, really?
X, D Grey Man,
I fucking love the Grey Man.
Orange. They
Orange
also
you should watch that.
they helped make next episode's reviewy thing, Sweetness and Lightning. Also, this production company is making a Big Hero 6 TV series for Disney.
Oh wow,
Yes, please.
that's
I
pretty
know,
good.
right? They know how to do dark stuff, so Big Hero 6 is right up their alley.
Yeah.
Now that's a tearjerker. I just keep
That's
staring
deep.
at the note that's right in the center of my page that just says Ogre is so adorable.
That is true though.
And then just right next to it, it's like they depict friendship very well without all the usual bullshit.
I mean, what character
My
do you
notes are
think sort of
great.
reminds you of yourself the most, or do you think all of them sort of?
I
think
think
all of them.
It's like a mixture. I'd say a mixture of all, because I've been in Karui's situation. I know I feel the same basically as Kaizaki. I've felt like Hishiro, so I know the general thing.
Do you know what it sort of feels like? It feels like sort of a giant spectrum. Like each individual sort of has a different problem that sort of all sort of adolescent teenagers, school all face sort of thing. But I think they're sort of like personified. Each individual personifies a different problem that
Yeah,
everyone has. Yeah.
Have any of you seen Kisnaiver?
No.
It's like they're all connected through each other's pain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
I feel like this is a more kind of subtle version of that in a
Yeah,
way,
same here.
because in Kisnaiver they're kind of character stereotypes, but they
Yeah.
all have to evolve because they can feel each other, so they all have to evolve because of each other. This is kind of the same way, and it's all happening mainly because of one character.
Yeah.
However, that character isn't exactly the main catalyst. He's just something they bounce off.
I guess there were some bits as well that I sort of reflected on myself with Kazuki, especially with like the smoking and that. I mean,
Yeah. Ah.
I
I
think
like
that's
how
sort of like a way to sort of introduce yourself to a teacher is to find cigarettes in your bag.
his first day is magical.
Yeah.
It is brilliant.
Oh, so brutal. So brutal.
I like how they got away with having a really short and vague first episode where he just kind of went along with it, and the explanation is he was drunk,
Yeah.
because that is probably the most plausible thing. It's like when you're drunk, hey, do you want another chance to go back and start again? Hey, sure, sounds great. You
Well,
only go
Val
along with that.
influences influenced by drunkenness.
Yeah. Alcohol, the magical cure that it is. I like how he said, like, in the a third or something episode, he said he quit smoking because he still had an old body inside. And then every other episode, you see an ashtray filled with cigarettes
Yeah.
and a new pack of cigarette and a can of beer.
Especially when he was hanging out with Yorika and Oniya.
Yeah, just the end. Why do we always hang out at my place? Because we can get beer sent here and we can't drink outside.
I
Brilliant.
guess it's too much hassle for them to get one of the tablets to make himself older again.
Yeah,
and then,
they have to go and ask people and send
yeah,
requests.
so again, it's
in.
like Yoko with his his adult self. Again, it sort of reminds me a lot of myself. Like trying to wake up in the mornings, and you go to sleep. We trying to wake up. It is so difficult. Like
He is much more responsive than I am at all, in that sense. It takes an army to wake me up.
It's so true.
it's kind of like my phone alarm just does nothing to me anymore. I think I've just built up an immuneness to it that it
Mine
just
doesn't
doesn't
either.
work for me anymore.
Yeah, I passed that bridge long ago. The only time my alarms ever woke me up is when they woke everyone and my neighbours up as well. And even then, I slept through it. So I relate to that so hard.
Yeah. Oh, God, I don't know. I don't have actually any more to sort of say on it really.
Like, I think it was a really good series, and it was deceptive in how it looked, because
Yeah.
the adverts made it look really generic. I don't think the music was anything overly special, but it sounded nice.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it, to be honest, until I saw the first episode.
Yeah, I kept being told to watch it, and I was like, oh, I'll get around to it. It seems like an interesting concept. But until we
Yeah,
started
I
doing
mean-
it for this, I probably would have never done it. And I'm glad I did, even though it did cause me to have some slight panic attacks about everything. It's a good series. It needs a season 2, or its like rating will probably just go down.
There were some bits where I thought it was a little bit generic, you know,
Yeah,
but it did have that sort of happy tone to it of high schoolers, adolescents, you know.
Yeah, the volleyball bit was probably my downside of it going. It dragged on that, and it's centered, and I've seen that in pretty much everything else, kind of thing.
It sort of had the same effect for me as well, actually. Yeah, it just sort of.
It felt like it lost a bit of the steam around the middle, but then picked it up majorly in the last few episodes.
Yeah, that's why I just thought the ending was just a little bit like, okay, this is like what happened. I guess it's sort of just like it keeps you guessing, like, oh, what's going to happen now, sort of thing. But then again, you don't want it to end like that. On the note that it ended, it's just like, well, I want to find out more. What's going to happen to these characters, you know?
Yeah.
You know, you're saying it's like Oga and Kairu. It's like, all right, now we've found out about them. They're happily together, sort of thing. Like that's them sort of.
Dan, shut up.
you probably know everything about it now, anyways. But yeah, so they're sort of happily together. And then, you know, we're just sort of left with Kaizaki and Hishiro, and now it's just like, you know, what's going to happen next? Because you don't want it to end like the way it did.
So I don't think a second season has been announced just yet, and I think it is too early because it technically only really finished airing 2 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago. It's been online since July, the whole series, but it's only finished properly airing on TV, I think, 3 weeks ago. It will take at least a year, and hopefully it's as good as the first season and ends it satisfyingly.
Yeah, I mean, there were some bits that I read off sort of like afterwards. I thought, okay, I want to try and find a bit more about this, where I read up a bit more about Hishiro, about her past, and there were some bits that did go on sort of past the final episode. I don't know if you want me to talk about it or not, or you just want me to shut up and just leave it be, or...
I want to know about it, but at the same time I don't, but I'll probably forget by the time...
Well, I think she does sort of have an idea that Kaizaki is one of the ReLIFE experiments. I think she sort of does figure it out in her own way, because I think just the way he acts, you know, especially like a lot of the way he acts sometimes, they're saying like, oh, the way you're talking to me, like we're the same age, why are you talking to me like you're like 10 years older than me, sort of thing. So I think she sort of picks up on that and says, okay, you seem to be, I'm pretty sure you are one of the ReLIFE experiment, you know.
It does kind of, in the last episode, when she kind of has that mass flashback of everything throughout the year, she kind of seems to have remembered who she is and figured out what he is, but at the same time she's not sure.
I mean, it's all just ambiguous now. You can only really sort of think up yourself.
It's probably one of the best ways you can leave a series if it's getting a sequel, is just to leave it ambiguous, but interestingly so.
Yeah, I mean, Dan's been very silent, so all I can imagine he's just being awestruck by everything we've just talked about.
Yeah, I wish I could really say more, but yeah, I'm just kind of take it all in when hearing.
But
well, now you know, next time we do one of these, you got to finish it.
So, overall, the show was really good, but needs an ending to complement the rest of it.
A solid ending, yeah.
And it left me with a paranoid and depressing streak for the last 2 weeks.
It was so sad.
So, thank you and also fuck you to this series.
I thought you were saying that to the people then. I was like, whoa, man.
Fuck all of you, I don't care.
Well, whoever's going to be listening to this.
Okay, so I'm Jamie with Nathaniel and Dan, and this has been our first discussion on the anime things. This is a great outro. Okay.
10 out of 10, Jay.
Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye-bye.